अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरु प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता। अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरु प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर। अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरु प्रसाद। एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभव निर्वैर। अकाल मूर्त अजूनी सैभं गुरु प्रसाद। धन गुरु गोबिंद सिंह साहिब महाराज, धन गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी हजूर। हवाए बंदगी अवर दर वजूद मरा, वगरना जो के चुनी आमदैन नमूद मरा। काहिरे बन खो जल जाई, सर्व निवासी सदा लेपा, तोहे संग समाई। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। Today we will explore the topic of pain and sorrow. Pain is an energy far more intense than happiness. What is the reason we feel more pain and less joy? When we feel joy, we live it by quickly. But when we are in pain, it is more intense and time slows down. Psychologically, we are geared to be more sensitive to sorrow and pain. This is a survival instinct. Humans survive on pain and sorrow and watching that. But a lot lies in understanding pain and sorrow. In fact, in one way, the key to whole world's understanding, life's understanding, life's unfolding, or living the mystery, solving the mystery of life, lies in understanding what is sorrow and how is it related to my spirituality. How does pain become an energy center? Ghalib in one of his shares says, "Duboya mujhko hone ne na hota main to kya hota." He says, because of me I am in pain, because I am. Sorrow and pain can be understood in two different planes. First is the psychological plane, where let's discuss how and why we feel pain and how do we deal with it. Because this is an important emotion which we have. We primarily feel pain either for the fear of loss of control or fear of not getting what we want. Either we are fearful of losing something, or we are fearful of not getting what we want. So it has a deep connection to anger, frustration, to disappointment. These are all emotions which are inbuilt within our life, and we all live through them. Now, fear and anger are also stimulated by pain, by sorrow. When somebody is in sorrow and pain, he or she takes much more severe action about the subject. We let go more easily when we are in happiness, but not when we are in pain. We don't forgive those who give us pain. This is our psychology. Often enough, when we are dealing with the subject of pain, we are not aware of how to deal with it. Life is very judgmental, and there is limited sharing in our society. In fact, in all societies, it is difficult to share. And so the pain which is within us becomes more aggravated when we don't share it. Sharing is an essential tool for sorrow and pain to deal with it. And one of his shares, Ghalib says about friendship, he says that बने हैं दोस्त ना से, कोई गम गुजार होता, कोई चार साज होता. ये कहाँ की दोस्ती है? बने हैं दोस्त ना से, कोई गम गुजार होता, कोई चार साज होता. What he is saying is that what is this friendship? That everybody gives me nasiyat, gives me advice. But nobody is with me in my moment of pain to heal me. So the tool of sharing was understood by Ghalib very well when he says that all you need to do is be with me in my pain. Don't give me advice. In that way you humiliate me and you demean my own abilities. ये कहाँ की दोस्ती है? So healing, pain, sorrow, these are very essential emotions within our life. We are all going to live through them somehow or the other. Some will be living it more intensely than others. But the opportunity of understanding life lies more with those who encounter pain than those who encounter joy. In one of the pauris in the Asadivar, Maharaj talks about pain, and he says this, that Dukh daru sukh rog pe. Dukh can become a healing, it can become a medicine, and sukh can become a disease. So the emotion of pain and sorrow is like a door to our inner mind. If we are careful, if we are watchful, if we are alert, then we can use this energy of pain and sorrow and become more alert and aware of life. If we look at the basic structure, for example, somebody has learned how to drive a car, and he or she goes to drive in the city without knowing the rules. And then they encounter being fined regularly. Now, we can come back every day and say, I am in pain because every day I am being challaned. I am being fined and I am driving and I have learned how to drive and I am being punished. But then what will we say? We will say, but you don't know the rules of how to drive. You're driving on the wrong side, or you cross the light when it is red. This is an analogy which we can use in our life as well. This person doesn't know the rules, like we don't know hukum. If we knew the hukum, we will be less in pain. Because he or she doesn't know the rules of driving, they get punished and fined. So we also encounter more pain because we don't know what is hukum. So what is the order? And there is a very deep relationship between hukum and Guru Sahib's guidance to us to live in raza. What is the reason Maharaj talks about raza? What is the reason he invites us to be more in raza, more in acceptance than in expectation? This has a lot to do with pain. Maharaj says, Hukmi uttam neech, hukam likh tuk sukh paiye. In this rules of the order of the Creator, there is those who are more exalted than the other. And then in this hukam only lies the rules of how we find dukh and sukh. How we live dukh, pain and sorrow, and pain and joy. I will invite you to a very nice story at the time of Socrates, a dialogue in the last days. In fact, the last day of Socrates. The next day he is to take poison, and at night Crato goes to him. And he tells Crato, when his chains were being taken from his feet, Socrates tells Crato, look how joy and pleasure are so connected. Pain and pleasure are so connected. These chains gave me so much pain. Now that they removed them, it gave me so much pleasure. So why is pain and sorrow and happiness connected? This is what Socrates tells Crato. And when Socrates tells him about death and life, then Socrates explains to Crato what is life. He says to Crato, see, in life we don't have an absolutes. Everything is defined by the other. That means if there is sorrow, then if we ask what is sorrow, then we need to have happiness to define it. We will say that which is not happiness is sorrow. Similarly with rich and poor, with good and bad, with right and wrong, they all live together. So if we go and seek one of these, the other will come with it. If we go out and want to be good, then the question will be asked, what is good? And then we need bad. We will say that which is not bad. And if good needs bad as its companion, then how much difference is the good and bad? They are two sides of the same coin. This is life. Happiness and sorrow are two sides of the same coin, psychologically. The irony and the problem becomes, we are all seekers of happiness. We reject the idea of pain and sorrow as unacceptable. And that is where the malady of life starts. When these two live together, and if I am seeking happiness, and sorrow comes with it, and I am in denial of sorrow, then the conflicts happen. That is why my life is in chaos, trouble, and it is in turmoil. In the Asa Di Var, Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj talks about one line of awareness, and he says, Kumbhe badda jal rahe, jal bin kumbh na hoye. Gyan ka badda man rahe, gur bin gyan na hoye. So like this person who doesn't have the rules of driving and doesn't know hukum and gets punished and fined for driving, and so finds pain and sorrow in his or her daily routine of driving. Like that, I am also unaware. And so I can say that unhappiness, sorrow and pain is very well connected to unawareness. I am not aware of life. I am unaware of life. I am unaware what life is, what is its structure, and how it is created. Often enough we find blaming, why did God do this to me? I did nothing wrong. It's very often we hear this. As though it is the God's duty to punish and pain others. This is also a part of our lack of knowledge of the Creator, or let me say not knowledge but awareness. Knowledge is more to do with facts. Awareness is more to do with systemic understanding of life. Socrates goes on and tells Crato that all of life is defined with these pairings, divisions, the DUKH, where life has divided itself, energy of life has divided itself into two, and they both live together. In this one story, which is a Greek mythology, they say that happiness and sorrow were two friends. and they fought with each other. And they fought so badly that when they went to God, God tied their feet. So the left foot of one is tied to the right of the other. And in that story they say that you are sure that if you are talking to happiness, then unhappiness is few feet away. This is the nature of life. Then where does the solution of life happen? I am seeking happiness constantly. I am seeking a solution to my pain and sorrow. And I am seeking an understanding of what is sorrow. In the modern psychology, they say that when in pain, don't avoid pain. There's a very deep-rooted understanding. Don't avoid it, face it. Understand it, live it, and know that there is a reason for that pain. Maulana Rumi says that pain is the crack in our soul from where the light of the Creator will come to our mind. It's a way of saying that pain is an energy system. Use it. We are not attuned to change. All of us don't like change. So this is one of the reasons why we are so tuned to only being happy and looking out for only happiness. We think that we will be happy forever and we need to be happy forever. There is a reason for that. And the reason lies in our subconscious mind. But we are not aware of our subconscious mind. So any reason for sorrow and pain which comes to us is like a disaster. We are not prepared. We are never prepared for pain and sorrow. We are always inviting only happiness and profit and gain and being honored in society. This is all that we are looking for. But all of them have their pairing oppositely living with it. Happiness lives with sorrow, like gain lives with loss, like honor lives with disgrace. And it is always changing. If you remember the story of Guru Nanak Sahib when he was in Baghdad, and he was asked these three questions. What was before God? Where does God live? And what does he do? And Maharaj gave an answer with examples, exemplary processes that nothing was before God. This is all the game of the Creator. Leela. It's a play. But we don't enjoy it, I can know that. It's a struggle for us all. For very reasons. But understanding those reasons and also coping with them may help us know life, may help us know who we are. Now, the second question was, where does God live? And Maharaj, with an example of milk, answered that the Creator lives in His creation. He is never separated from His creation. Karta Purkh. And then Maharaj was asked this last question, what does he do? So Guru Sahib said that you have been asking me these questions and you are the one who's sitting on the high pedestal and I am standing and answering you on a lower level. This is not acceptable. So the Peer Dastagir gave his seat to Guru Sahib and Maharaj, according to tradition, said, gave Bhai Mardana the chance to sit on his seat. And Sahib said that this is what life is about, change. That which is high will become low, that which is low will become high. We see this all around us all the time. But we don't accept it easily. So where is happiness? Where is that happiness which is not changing? Is there such happiness? Or is sorrow and pain my absolute destiny? If everything which is sorrow is connected to joy, then actually if we look at it, all of life is pain. The reason is, that we are always finding happiness in life for a reason. I bought a car, I'm very happy. Somebody scratched it, my happiness has become sorrow. So the life's parameters of understanding life, of good and bad, happiness and sorrow for a reason, are always the changing reasons. My source of happiness is changing, so happiness becomes sorrow very easily. I have a friend, and we had very good friendship for many years. But then we broke up. We had a problem. That happiness has become sorrow. Similarly, every source of happiness which we have, if we try and explore it, if we try and understand it, we will see that it is not unchanging. The conditions which we have, from which our happiness is coming, is always changing. If in our list of changes of life, we have even one thing which doesn't depend on something which changes, then we found the key to life. Is there a list which we have where I have found happiness for a reason which never changes? If there is such a reason, which any of us has, then we've transcended life, transcended death. This is the key to life. Dukh daru sukh rog paya. You know, in the Hindu tradition, there is the tradition of Shiv, who is the greatest of the gods. And what does Shiv do? When everybody is asking for Amrit, Shiv is asking for Bikh. He is asking for poison, for pain. And he puts that in his mouth and he keeps it in his throat. That's why he is called a Neelkant. And he suspends it in his throat and lives with the pain with him. That is why he is considered more superior than all other gods. Because he has accepted pain and transcended it, learned how to live with it. If some of us has learned how to live with sorrow and pain, then we've transcended them, is it not? If we have this problem of being not able to live with sorrow and pain, then we have a crisis all the time in our lives. Sorrow and pain will come constantly to us, somehow or the other, as intensely as we seek joy. So if we have anything in life which gives us happiness, that same source will also give us pain and sorrow, whatever it may be. During our lifetime, if it gives us happiness, when we leave it in death, it will give us pain. Where is the solution of life then? Maharaj says, Gurbin Gyan na hoy. The awareness of life, the hukum. This person doesn't know how to drive and gets fined. I am getting fined every day by life as I don't know hukum, as I don't know the Creator's rules, laws. Someone talks about sorrow and happiness and says, happiness and sorrow are like the clouds in the sky. They are not the entire sky. They are just placed in the sky. But we focus more on sorrow and pain. We miss out the sky. We miss out the bigger picture of creation because we have these clouds which distract us. We are more pulled in by pain than by joy. Somebody is very happy and something small happens and we get disturbed, we get pained, we get sorrowful. So how do we cope with happiness? How do we cope with unhappiness, pain and sorrow? One of the prime rules which we have is avoid pain and sorrow. The best way we do it is we watch Netflix. And another way of how we deal with sorrow and pain is change. We change our environment. So the whole play gets changed. The rules of the game get changed. we don't have the same rules. So we get energized and come back again. This is like creating a balance. I get drained and I leave the play and go out and then come back again. Happiness and sorrow, Socrates says, are the rules of life. They live together. Sukh ko mange sabko dukh na mange koi. Sukhe ko dukh agla man mukh booj na hoye. Everybody asks for happiness. Nobody asks for sorrow. But Maharaj says that as we ask for happiness, pain and sorrow comes with it. So that is the reason Guru Nanak invites us to live in raza. Raza is not expectation, it is acceptance. Expectation is the family member of disappointment. When we live in expectation, but can we live this life without expectation? Can there be such a situation where we have no expectations of life? Is it practical? Or is there a paradigm which I am missing out? That I live in expectation, yet I become free from it. Can that be possible? Now here these are two worlds. One is the world of Dvait, the dual, and one is the world of Ekagar. They are two different mind states. I will go to those little later. Psychology says, don't avoid pain, face it, see it, look at it, understand it, share it. Sharing our pain is one of the most powerful tools we have. If you ever go to a center where they do emotional healing, emotional support to suicidal people or people who are depressed and painful, sharing is their number one tool. And sharing makes us lighter. Because our mind gets clouded by these thoughts of pain, and we have a tendency to imagine more. So our pain could be 100 and we imagine it to be 10,000. We imagine what will happen, and that crashes our whole world. So there is a problem of imagination which we have, and so our pain gets that much more aggravated. If we really look at it, everyone goes through pain and sorrow in this world, and nobody else is bothered. In fact, in one place in Gurbani, Guru says that I went to seek someone who's healing, and I found that everybody was in pain. Sukh dukh doye dar kapde, pehre jaye manuk. Happiness and sorrow are like costume changes. We can wear one and the other one after that. We don't live in acceptance, so we don't know how we deal with this change. What is the key to understanding that? Maulana Rumi says the wound is the place where the light enters life, you. Wound, the pain, is the place where life enters us. Maharaj says, Sukh dukh sam kar janiye, Shabad bhed sukh hoye. Guru Sahib has introduced now another dimension, Shabad. But we don't know hukum. And what is the relationship between acceptance and expectation and hukum? Knowing the rules of life is hukum. And one of the key to life's acceptance is that life and death live together. Happiness and sorrow live together. The rich and poor all exist together. Right and wrong live together. So if we accept these rules of life, that is hukam razai chalna. We want to convert this raza into micro situations of life But let's look at the macro picture. If I have accepted that life will end in death, then it changes a lot of things for me. It dramatically tears up my world. It makes me wake up. It makes me deal with catastrophic change. Death is extreme change altogether suddenly. Everything I know about life will be taken away in a flash of a second. That is death. If I accept that my life is going to end in death, everything about this life which I'm living will change. Then I will start seeking. I will start understanding death. I will start knowing what is the relationship between death and life. What dies and what will go beyond this death? What is there beyond this curtain of life and death? Similarly, the acceptance that sorrow and pain and joy live together is a dramatic change. There is a lovely story of Rabia. Basra is a place in Iraq. She used to live there. She is a Sufi Sant. Rabia one day called her friends and said, "I've lost a needle. Help me find it." And they were seeking finding this needle in the outside the house, and they couldn't find it. They asked her in the evening where exactly it fell, and she said actually it fell inside the house. And then they laughed at her. They were angry with her. Why did you waste our time and energy finding it outside the house when it fell in the house? Rabia says, because I wanted to tell you something which I feel intensely. We look for happiness outside, but it lies within us. And that's the key to understanding life. It's always within us. The sky of the world, where the clouds of unhappiness exist, is within us. It's not outside. The unchanging environment of life, the thirkar, is within my mind. And I don't seek the mind. I don't search it. I don't try and understand the mind. I don't try and unravel what is my mind. What are my desires? I just run from one desire to the other, avoiding pain. That's my entire life journey. If we look at Gautam Buddha's life, a king with all the powers goes out for the first time in his life and sees three things which change him forever. First, he sees old age. Then he sees sickness. And then he sees death. And in the end, he sees a saint. And he says, if this is the reality of life, which is the ending of life, then all life is misery. If this is how I will end up, then there is no worth in this life. There is no meaning in this life. And that seeking led Siddhartha to become Gautam Buddha. So the pain became the awakening, the awareness, the transcendence, the forever part of life was opened up. Has the forever part opened up in my life or not is the key I need to understand, Maharaj. What is there beyond this happiness and sorrow? We don't have this raza, acceptance, hukam razai, this basic acceptance that sorrow and happiness will live together. They don't live separately, that death is part of my life. Separation is part of the meeting. If this acceptance comes to me, then there is a sense of relaxation from the intensity, at least, from the struggle. But then again, whenever I am in pain, I am unable to deal with it because I don't share. I don't have those friendships anymore where people are non-judgmental. And the other is that people are good listeners. These are the keys to somebody healing us. He just doesn't judge us and also listens, doesn't give advice in every step, because the advice is also a judgment. ये कहाँ की दोस्ती है? बने हैं दोस्त ना से. ना से means नसीहत, advice. कोई गम गुजार होता, कोई चारसाज होता. Somebody would be with me in my pain, gam guzar, and would heal me, charasaz, my healer. We are actually causing more pain to each other, and we don't heal ourselves, don't heal the other. We are too preoccupied in our fantasy world of home, of ego, maya. The feeling of I am is so intense that my pain becomes a drain center, and I drain my own energy and others' energy with it. I don't have that environment where I can relax my mind. I can share and know that where is life going to go? Ultimately, what will happen in life? That understanding, that macro picture, I'm always missing out. My thoughts are consuming, they are controlling, and they dominate my life to a degree where I don't have the breathing space to understand life in its completeness. I never see the sky. I always see the clouds. I always see the pain, the sorrow, the hurt, the anger, the frustration. I never see the beauty. I never see the joy. I never see the love. Even when we love with the reason. We love with physical traits is one way we love. And those are also changing. We love with emotional bonding. Emotions are also changing. We love with being able to share a subject, but that also will change. So we see in life love and hatred live together. If we see the examples of love in life which are exalted, which we live by, Heer Ranja, Sassi Punnu, these are the love stories which are carried through time. And what is the reason for that? Laila Majnu. Because they were beyond the physical conditions of change. They sustained love without physical conditioning to it. The mythology of Majnu is that he saw Laila's wedding ceremony go by standing next to a tree. She went to this village of Kheda. And the mythology, the story says that if you stood next to the tree, you could hear the word Laila from the tree. The love, it was eternal. That is why we look at it more beautifully. We keep it as our symbol, as our inspiration. Those love stories which are connected only to the physical realm die with the physical. So pain and sorrow. If we do deal with pain and sorrow, always in pain drive towards the pain. Share the pain. Find someone who can listen to our pain, non-judgmental and without advice. This is such a powerful tool that it can turn around people who are in the stage of suicide. So we should grow this in our environment. We should grow this in our daily life. We should invest in this kind of relationships where we are non-judgmental about people. Even Guru Sahib, when he is healing, he is non-judgmental. If he is judgmental, he can't heal. It can't happen. If Sachin Thug was a murderer, he was a thief, if he is to be judged like that, then he can never be healed. Now, where does this confusion of pain and sorrow lead us in life? The key of this starts from understanding what can pain do for me. Pain is an energy center. It can give me an opportunity to open my doors. And I can use this pain to understand that I am missing something. Pain is like my teacher, like my guru. And what is this that I'm missing out about life, that I am in pain and sorrow and not able to understand life? Pain and sorrow will exist in the physical plane, in the physical realm. It's not as though it will go away for someone who knows life in its completeness. It will not happen like that. But for such people who have understood the bigger picture of life, who live the sky of life, they have a different space to where they live. They don't live only in this changing world. They have found an unchanging world. They have found a more stable mind. They have found a happiness without source. It's called Anand. In the Hindu mythology, there are 3 words which are very nice. There is a Sat, Chit, Anand. That which is truth is my Chit, is my inner mind. And that is Anand. When Guru Amar Das talks about Anand, he says that the only condition for Anand is to meet the Guru. So, while living in pain and sorrow, while living in joy and disappointment, while living in this changing world, we can simultaneously create another space by exploring our inner mind, which is unchanging. So there is a relationship between our pain and ego. Maharaj says, "Home dirag rog hai." This is what we did last week. Home, ego is my disease. Why it is my disease is because I keep visiting this changing world, finding the unchanging. So I am living in expectation in an environment which is constantly changing. I know it will change, but I keep looking for the unchanging in the physical world where it doesn't exist. This whole life is built on change. Maharaj explains to us that there are aspects of our mind which are beyond the ego. And ego, like we discussed the last time, is our vehicle for this world. And while it is my vehicle, it is not a permanent home. It is not a permanent stay. It's a guest house. We are all living in a guest house. We have to check out at some time. And how do I prepare for that? Isn't that the key? There is so much about this spiritual realm which is grey, that we are all getting fooled by someone or the other. People are transacting in this guruship, but there is no such understanding of life beyond pain and sorrow. There is no such understanding of how to transcend ego. If you really look at it, look at all the different gurus around us, who is really telling us how to go beyond the ego? Who is really telling us how to transcend sorrow? Who is it? I did not see many. I did not see one. I saw other aspects discussed, but these aspects of the key to life are not being discussed, and in fact we get cheated by this. We get trapped in this ego center. Somebody is a Hindu, somebody is a Christian, somebody is a Sikh. So they follow their own leaders. And while doing that, they don't ask this question, what is the Sikhism going to lead me to? What is my ultimate awareness of life? What is religion supposed to give me? Which is the takeaway from this life that I can use when I am dying? To my understanding, if that question is not answered, then we are losing time. We go to a course where we do meditation. I learn how to meditate. I become calmer. Very good. But calmness is one aspect of life, Maharaj. I can be calm if I am desireless. If I have no desire, I'll become calm. It's this desire which is making me painful, angry, frustrated. If I drop my desires consciously, I will become calm, but I will not become anandit. I will not become aware. I will not become someone who knows life beyond the ego. No, it will not happen. So, we can use this energy of pain and death and sorrow in a positive way. Maharaj says, Dukh daru. The pain is my healer. Sukh rog paya. Sukh is my disease. Because he can use this energy of pain to solve the ultimate mystery of life. What is the ultimate mystery of life? That life is a visiting board. It's a guest house. That life doesn't have too much time built into it, which is forever. That life doesn't have ultimate happiness built into its change. A changing lifetime, a life where life leads into death, where expectation is driving life. If I don't expect to do business, earn money and get home money, then how I will do my business? That expectation is a necessary aspect of life. But there is an unchanging world where acceptance is the macro picture of life. And how do I transcend the ego? How do I find happiness within me, which is forever? How do I find that Sat Chit, that unchanging mind? This is the key to all religions. This is the spirituality of life. This is why Guru Sahib says, Man jeete jag jeet. This is why he invites us to meditate with Shabad. Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao. This is why the stimulant of love can change us forever. But love also unconditionally. There is no such thing in this physical world where there is unconditional love. Somebody loves me, so there is a me, there is a physical person. If the physical person is gone, how there will be love? There can be imaginary me then. But what is the soul? What is the understanding of the soul? What is death? These answers lie deep in the mind. And there needs to be an intense search for us all to know this aspect of life. The intensity of understanding what is life may be possible through the experience of pain, of DUKH. In fact, in the Buddhist tradition, Gautam Buddha says that life is DUKH. And the reason for why it is DUKH is because I am in Trishna, I am in desire for happiness. So my desire for happiness is my DUKH. And then he says there is a salvation from it, a nirvana. What does nirvana mean? I am hesitating for taking the next step in thought because we first need to understand that life's pain and sorrow is an energy we need to accept. Hukam razai chalna. That is the changing part of life, Maharaj. And this relationship between hukum and home, knowing the order of the Creator, has to be awareness of what is the relationship of ego and me. Home bujhe ta dar suje. I am not a permanent entity. This is a very deep experience. I am not permanent. And how anything around me is permanent then? How can happiness be permanent when I myself am not permanent? I will either get changed to some new I after death, or I will, the better part of this experience is merge with the source where I come from. That is the saintly part of life, Maharaj. That is where I figured out how to transcend change. And that has to happen while we are living. It can't happen when we die. What happens in death? The mind will collapse to its inner source. Because I have not been able to transcend ego, the ego will remain. And the ego has certain aspects built into it. One is the karam. The karam, the action. Punni papi akhad nahe. Karmi karmi hoy vichar. The action which I have done, the thoughts which I have done, the baggage I carry, that becomes me. And that becomes my future life. And that becomes my destiny. I have sown these seeds, and I will reap them. But how then I can improve this? How I can solve this? Is to live this other life of another. There is this karam word in Sanskrit means doing, and in Persian it means nadar and grace, kirpa. Gur Prasad is what the Mool Mantra tells us, Maharaj. In any religion, in any system, in any belief, in any culture, life will find its solutions in Gur Prasad. Meaning the grace of the Creator will give me the solutions to this ego. I cannot find the solution to the ego within the ego. This is the key. It's not possible. I use this analogy that I am in a bus and I am trying to push the bus while I'm inside the bus. I am not stable mind, so I can't push or change my mind without finding stable ground. So I need a guru. The guru can be physical, guru can be Shabad. Shabad Guru is a very big chapter. But what I am trying to make everyone align with is the thought that happiness in this world doesn't live without unhappiness. Sorrow and happiness in the physical world live together. So that acceptance is a must. There is a source of happiness which is without reason. सब में जोत जोत है सोए, तिसते चानन सब में चानन होए, गुर साखी जोत प्रगट होए. Guru Amardas has dedicated a whole Gurbani to this subject of Anand, unconditional happiness, happiness within my man. How do I open this key of this man? Is a very important question. He says that, like we are talking about happiness forever, he says the same thing in a different way. He says that Surnar Munjan Amrit Khoj De, So Amrit Kurte Paya. Everybody is looking for Amrit, happiness forever, beyond death. That only the Guru can give you. In another place, this person asks Gamche Bashat this question, what is the reason for unhappiness? And the answer is Gaflat az Yad Khuda. Bhai Nandlal is a poet. In Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Maharaj's quote, he was the teacher of Aurangzeb's son. And he ran away because Aurangzeb was going to kill him or convert him. And he went to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib. And there he lived all his life. His 6th or 7th generation now is Shivpreet Singh, who sings now for us in Gurmukhi. And after he went from Anandpur, they stayed in now West Pakistan by Nandlal. He was a poet, a Persian poet. And in his Masnavi, he talks about this question of Gamche Bashat. What is the reason for unhappiness? Gaflat az Yad Khuda. Forgetting my source, my creator, is the reason for my unhappiness. Chees Shadi. What is the reason for happiness? Yad Beimtaha. Listening and knowing the creator. Remembering the creator, my source, is my reason for happiness. So the sky, where the clouds of unhappiness exist, lies within me, my source, from where I come from. If I go back inwards into my mind and transcend my ego, I will find a space where there is Anand existing within me. It may be unimaginable to me because when I meditate within my mind, I don't find that space. For 2 reasons. One, I don't have stable mind. And the other is I don't have Shabad Guru. So when Guru Nanak Sahib Maharaj is asked this question, Kaman Mool, Kaman Matvela, Kaman Guru Kiska Tu Chela. What is the fundamental energy of life? What is the reason for this time when we get our birth? Kaman Matvela, Kaman Guru, and who is the Guru? The yogis asked this question to Guru Nanak Sahib. Kaman Guru Kiska Tu Chela. Who is your Guru, Guru Nanak? Maharaj has talked about Gurbani in many times in his life. जैसी में आवे खसम की बाणी तैसड़ा करी ज्ञान में लाल वाहो वाहो बाणी निरंकार है. This is the revealed Shabad. Bhagat Kabir also talks about the same Shabad. Namdev talks about the Shabad. By Ravidas, Guru Ravidas talks about the same Shabad. So Maharaj says, Pavan Arambh Satgur Matvela. From breath, life starts. Finding the Satguru, the creator, that's what is this time for, this birth given to us. Shabad Guru Surt Tonchela. And Shabad is my Guru. And Surt is the one mind, the stable mind. So note here that he does not use the word I. There is no ego in this. Shabad Guru, Surtun Chela. So Maharaj says this question again in life, that Prapat Manuk Dehuriya, Gobind Milan ki hai teri bariya. You have an opportunity. This life is an opportunity, temporary opportunity, not permanent. There is nothing permanent about this. Nor any relationships are permanent. Only those relationships become permanent here who are spiritual, who are in the realm of the Atma, which is the unchanging. There the meeting is forever. There is no separation. There the love is forever. There the happiness forever is forever. There the celebration is forever. Anand piha meri maaye Satguru mein paaye. When Guru Amar Das sang this Shabad, Anand, the next day he had a conflict within his physical life, which was absolutely not Anand. So what I am trying to bring about is that there will exist in this physical world Sukh and Dukh, good and bad, happiness and sorrow, all living together. But the key to this whole situation is I find some space within me which is unaffected by this change. I will invite you to this one Shabad of Bhagat Rav Das. He talks about this space as a land in life, as a city. And he says this city of no sorrow. Ab mohe khoob watan ge pai. I have found this great city, watan, city, country, whatever. Uha khair sada mere pai. Here I am taken care of forever. Begumpura Seher ko now. Without sorrow is the name of this city. Dukh ando nahi taiha. No dukh, no pain, no conflict, no anxiety. Dukh ando nahi taiha. I am forgetting the flow, but it will come. Dukh ando nahi taiha. And then he talks about this city which is without loss, without pressures, without errors. There is no error here also. And then he says, here the Kirpa, the Gur Prasad is uninterrupted. It doesn't get blocked. In this physical world, it can get blocked, but not in that world. Then Guru Tegh Bahadur asks this question, that if you are seeking this space within yourself, where should you go and seek it? Kahere ban khojan jai. Why are you going to the forest? You have found out that life is pain. We have found that life is pain because every time we go out seeking happiness, we get pain as an ultimate experience, because they live together. And then I say, let's give up life then. But he says, giving up life is not the answer. Kahere ban khojan jai. Sarab nivasi sada lepa tohe sang samai. The Creator lives with you. Tohe sang samai. Pup mad jo baas basat hai mukarmae jaise chai. Like the flower has the essence, the mirror has the reflection. Aise hi har base nirantar. So the Creator lives constantly within us. Kati khojo pai. Seek Him within yourself. Now the question will become, how do I go inwards? Bhagat Kabir talks about this juari. That the whole world is like a juari. They are seeking happiness नाम बिसारी, ऐसा जग देखियो जुआरी, सब सुख मांगे नाम बिसारी. Everybody is asking for happiness, forgetting Naam. Naam is the road to the Creator, a road to my inner source mind. Naam is my experience which is beyond the ego. That is why when the Sant Guru talks about happiness, he defines it differently. He says, if you are seeking happiness forever, then go to the Creator, go to your source mind. Don't expect it in the physical world. And don't think that you will find it in the physical world. Maharaj says that Haume and Dukh, ego and Dukh are synonym because we feel more pain and less joy. Only when we transcend the ego, we find a space within ourselves which never changes, which is the unchanging mind. So the mind has two different dimensions. I don't know that inner mind. That's my problem. Otherwise, that source will be available to me all the time and will be my sustenance, will be my support system in the changing world also. Ae man Shakti, ae man Sev, ae man Panch Tat ka Jiyo. This ego mind is the Maya mind, the changing mind. It comes from the source mind. Eman Sev, Eman Panch Tat ka Jiyo, and it has found expression in the physical body. But Eman Le Jiyo, moment I drop this changing mind, Un Man Rahe, then I find the unchanging mind, Un Man, he calls it Un Man. Ta teen log ki baatein kahe. Jo sukh ko chahe sada, Saran Ram ki le. If you are looking for happiness forever, it's not in the physical world. Saran Ram ki le. Ram is the creator in his entire creation. He lives there. And Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib explains this. Kati khojo mai pai. Bahar Pitar ek ho jane. Within me and outside, there is only one energy. Now I don't know this. I know the different world inside and a different outside. Bahar Pitar ek ho jane, eh gur gyan mutai. Jan Nanak bin apa chine. Without knowing the structure of the man, Jan Nanak bin apa chine. Knowing what is the structure of the man within me, mite na pram ki kai. The malady, the problem will not go away. We are playing this Russian roulette with life. Without understanding the man, we are living it, and we will then sooner or later find death as our ultimate friend. We are all going to be dying. What answers we have lie in this experience of transcending the ego and pain and sorrow, finding the Anand. Because that Anand is Amrit, it is timeless, it is beyond death. It will not only solve the problem of my seeking happiness, but it will also solve the problem of death. For that we need the Guru. We need Shabad. That's why Guru Nanak Sahib invites us, Gaviye suniye man rakhiye pao. Sing and listen. Now here is the key to transformation. Listening. We never listen. We are always trying to talk. Even before we listen, we are talking. If we can listen, we have the art of absorbing and change, of bringing change. Even if once in life we have listened completely to the Shabad, it transforms us forever. And it can guide us to our inner source of love and happiness. Tirgar. Bhagat Ravidas then ends this Shabad of his and he says that those who live in this city, Jo hum shehri so meet hamara, they are all my friends. The rest are not my friends. They will separate from me. Ego is droplets of water separated by its source. That is why Maharaj tells us about this life being a dream, about it being temporary, transient. He says this again and again. I am temporary, I am transient. So, the source and the solution to finding life's mystery solution is facing our pain and sorrow and using that to understand life better and transcend that changing mind to unchanging mind. Jo sabko chahe sada saran Ram ki le. And this is the change which also keeps me wandering, keeps me seeking one lifetime to the other and makes me lose control. When I don't have a need, I take birth. I have to take birth because I'm seeking. I've not found the solution. Today's session, I can end here about unhappiness, about DUKH, sorrow, and that inner source mind which is beyond all these changes. Focus on the sky and not the clouds. Unhappiness and sorrow are the clouds and the sky, not the sky. They are not permanent entities. They will change from one to the other. And acceptance of that understanding is the Hukum Razai, which Guru Nanak talks about in the Japji. And knowing what is my relationship to my ego is knowing the Hukum's creator's Hukum. One who knows the Hukum, he says, will know that there is no home. Ta home kahe na koi. Nanak hukme je bujhe. One who has understood Hukam, the laws of creation, ta home kahe na koi. He knows that I am not forever. I am a transient, temporary opportunity, whoever I may be. And all this important aspect, all experiences of life will ultimately be painful and sorrowful unless I find the Anand within me. Everything will turn into acid. Only Naam and Anand will remain. Haume jagat dukh rog vyapaya. Mar janme rove pahi tahi. And you keep wandering in pain. Aisa jag dekhyo jwari, sab sukh mange naam bisari. Finding Naam within me, finding the Shabad within me, opening the door to my source mind is finding the answers to all my pain and sorrow. Go to some questions of last time before we end. Long time today. Yeah. These are the questions which were sent to me by Swaran. And if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and we can, address them today also. In fact, we leave it open to everyone. If you have any questions, raise your hand. And then we can look at the questions you have. Otherwise, I'll go to this question bank which has come to me. We'll wait for a minute or two for everybody to think about if they want to ask a question. Okay, I'll start this question answer meanwhile, while we can wait. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. This is a question about I think I've kind of addressed this today. Is human birth new lease of life? If so, do we carry baggage of the past, karma? Human birth is an opportunity to transcend death, to find a space within us which is forever our source mind, our Anand mind. This is an opportunity. Then he says, if you miss out this opportunity, he says, Heere jaisa janam hai kaudi badle jaye. Guru Nanak says in the Asa Diwar that Nanak lekhe ek gal. There's one key thing about life. Nanak lekhe ek gal aur home chakna chak. And the rest is all ego. So when we transcend the ego, we understand life then. Till then, we don't understand what is life. It's all about me, my survival, my death, my pain. It's all me. And everything will aggravate this me. Because I keep saying, why am I in pain? And I keep trying to understand this and I don't find the answers. And then I kind of find reasons and say, this is why this is what I did wrong, and that is why I'm in pain. One basic aspect of life is we don't even understand the structure of the man. So he says that first you find what you're trading in, and then do the trade. Pehla vast se jaan ke, ta kiche vapar. So the question is life an opportunity? Life is an opportunity, and do we carry our baggage all the time? Everything we do is recorded in our man. And we will not be able to go beyond it till we find Guru Prasad. There is no escape from the Karam life. It's a trap, good or bad. It moves us to action and reaction. The only way to transcend it is to find that inner mind within us, the source mind, the Guru, Shabad Guru. The second question is, do Karam in my current life, Janam, have an impact in my next life? Karam has an impact on all our next moment. It has an impact on everything. If I change my thinking process now, the next moment is different. If I have woken up to the reality of life, next moment life is all bliss. He says that it takes a flash of an eyelid. Even in the Asadivar Maharaj says that you tin manas te devte kiye kartana lagi var, jin manas te devte kiye. From man becomes a devta, transcends the human form without much effort. In Sahaj. This other question is ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਮਾਇਆ ਦਾ ਜਾਲ ਬਾਰ-ਬਾਰ ਉਲਝਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਰਾਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਰਾਹ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣ ਵੀ ਲਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਚੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ। ਫਿਰ ਵਿਦਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਚੱਲ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕਮੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾ ਵੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਹੁਣ ਸਮਾਂ ਨੇੜੇ ਜਾਪਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਵਿਪਤਾ ਆਉਣ ਤੇ ਭਰੋਸਾ ਡਗਮਗਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਚਿੰਤਾ ਵਿਚਾਰਾਂ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਘੇਰੇ ਲੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ, ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਘੇਰ ਲੈਂਦੀਆਂ ਹਨ। ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਮਨ ਦਾ ਮੂਲ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਨ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਹੈ, ਨਾਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ, ਰੱਬ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ, God's love is Naam. Transcending thought and finding one mind is Naam. Beyond the ego mind is Naam. If you're having a problem of struggling to seek it, relax yourself first. This will not happen by seeking something. This will happen by letting go. There is nothing we have to do here. That source mind which we are seeking is available to us without an effort. The problem is our struggle takes us away from that. My ego gets more crystallized. Let go, relax your mind. Find the joy in life. Find the anand in the Shabad. Sing the Shabad. Seek Sangat. Seek those who are connected and do Simran with them. Wake up in the early hours of the morning. Give up your sleep at that time. Sit in dhyan of Shabad. Those times are more powerful. Amrit Vela. किमें जपना है इस तरह गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाओ. Sing it. Listen to it intensely. Dhyan and Shabad are the two potents energies. When they meet, we will transcend death. We will transcend all change. Maharaj in the Japji explains this to us. गाविए सुनिए मन रखिए पाओ दुख पर हर. गाविए सुनिए मन कीता पाओ दुख अंतर्गत तीरथ मलनाओ. You find the तीरथ within yourself. This is what we need. If you are having trouble, seva karo. Go into a place where you do seva with prem, love. Seva in the langar, small things you do. And don't live in expectation. Ke hun ki hoega, something will happen now. No, let it go. When it has to happen, it will happen. Expectation is the way we will go away from it. The more we struggle, the more we go away from our inner mind, relaxed mind. The relaxation is one step before meditation. So relax. Don't have expectations. Don't have trishna, desires. Let them all go. They are not us. Let the clouds go away and the sky will come. Be patient. Jat pahara tiraj sunyar. Tiraj. Tiraj is what you need, what we all need. Gurbani ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਹੈ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੀ ਮੰਗਣਾ ਹੈ. ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਨ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਗੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਵੀ ਮੰਗੋਗੇ ਉਹ ਬੇਅਰਥ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ. ਉਹ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਮੰਗੋ. ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੋ ਮੰਗੋ ਠਾਕੁਰ ਆਪਣੇ ਤੇ ਸੋਈ ਸੋਈ ਦੇਵੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਨਾ ਮੰਗੋ, ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ मांगो दान ठाकुर नाम और कछु मेरे संग न चाले. Rest, everything will not go with me. That's what he is saying. You can ask for it. The problem is we are only asking for life's changing dimensions, which are going to go away at death, which will become acid at death. We never ask for that space which will be with us at death. So Guru Sahib is giving us the bigger picture. De lambi nazar nihaliye. See the vision of death and then understand life. Pehla maran kabool, जीवन की छटास, वो सबना की रैन का तवाओ हमारे पास. So Maharaj is not saying don't ask. Whatever we ask, what we ask defines us. If we ask for Naam, it will be with us beyond death, Maharaj, beyond this physical body. But if we ask for the physical, then we are asking for the physical that will be remaining here when we are dead. It will be gone, be nothing. He says it is like futile. ਇੰਜ ਹੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰੀਏ ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਦਾ ਗੇੜਾ. So he asked this question that why we need to give up coming and going, ਵਿੱਚ ਸੰਸਾਰ ਦੀ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਉਸਦੇ ਜਨ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਹੀਏ. ਉਹਦੇ ਜਨ ਬਣ ਜਾਈਏ, ਯਾਤਰਾ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਈ. ਜੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਜਨ ਬਣ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੀ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਈ. ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹੇਗੀ. ਫਿਰ ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਦੋਹੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜਨ ਪਰਉਪਕਾਰੀ ਆਏ. ਜੀ ਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਭਗਤੀ ਲਾਇਨ ਹਰਸਿਓ ਲੈਣ ਮਿਲਾਏ. If we have found our source mind, the wandering will cease. क्या भव ये सच सुचा होए, सात शब्द में मुक्त न कोए. We have found transcendence if we have found Shabad within us. Then we may be physically born and we may be dying, but we are not actually moving. We are fixed to that permanent source mind which is with us forever. We can take birth and die. It's our wish. So if you feel that the life is good and you want to keep taking birth, that's your choice. But the subtle mind doesn't enjoy the gross mind after some time. But if you feel that you have a need to, that this world is very beautiful, that you really enjoy it, then this way of living life in its completeness, there is nothing stopping us. Sant is he who can find the 5 elements and take birth and release them and go away. It's at will. ਜਨਮ ਮਰਨ ਦੇ ਗੇੜ ਜਦ ਮੁੱਕ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਯਾਤਰਾ ਜਾਂ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ, ਸਮਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਫਿਰ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਹੋਂਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. ਉਹ ਹਰ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੈ, ਸਦਾ ਆਨੰਦਿਤ ਹੈ, ਸਦਾ ਖੇੜੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਸਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਮਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ. ਉਹਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਚਲੀ ਗਈ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ. ਪਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗਾ. ਉਹਦੀ ਵਾਂਡਰਿੰਗ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਿਧਰੇ ਜਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਚਲ ਹੈ. ਹੀ ਇਜ਼ ਐਵਰੀਵੇਅਰ, ਸੋ ਹੀ ਡਜ਼ਨਟ ਨੀਡ ਟੂ ਟਰੈਵਲ. ਦੇਰ ਇਜ਼ ਨੋ ਮੂਵਮੈਂਟ ਦੈਨ. ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਤ ਸਮਝਣਾ, ਸੰਤ ਅਖਵਾਉਣਾ, ਹੋ ਚੁੱਕੇ ਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੀਵਨੀ ਨੂੰ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਉਦਮ ਕਰਨਾ, ਯਾਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਮਨਾਉਣਾ, ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਵਾਂਗ ਡੇਰਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ, ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਤਮ ਆਦੇਸ਼ ਸਮਝਣਾ ਵਾਲੇ ਮਨੁੱਖ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਾਣੀ ਕੀ ਪੰਕਤੀਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ, ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਮਾਈ ਦੀ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲਸ ਨਾਲ ਸਮਝਾਓ. This Sant kaun hai sanu nahi pata. We don't know who is Sant. Only Sant knows who is Sant. Now if somebody wants to call himself Sant, get people to bow to him, come to him, who's to stop? But those who are not Sant and claim to be Sants and have this people bow to them and give them gifts, and it's a disaster world. It's a real disaster for everybody, for the whole clan, those who follow and those who call themselves Pakhandi Sant. Those who are real sants are beyond time and space and cause. What they do, how they do, is very difficult because they're different conditioning minds and different things can happen. Different expressions can happen. And I don't think anybody can control that. I can't. And nor can we judge. But if we are aware, if we know what is sant, then we can know if the other person is sant. Only then we can know. Otherwise, we can never know. The person may be wearing clothes like a sant, sitting like a sant, talking like a sant, but he is not a sant. Or he is a sant and is hidden, you can't make out. But if you are with the person and you are a sant, then you will know who is a sant. That's the only test. There's no other test. So these are the questions which have come to me so far. And I think I've answered all of them, maybe not to the degree which are expected. And since there is nobody who's raised their hand, we can end in today's session in Anand Sahib. It's already 9, so I would invite somebody to say the Anand Sahib, and then we can culminate today's session about pain and sorrow. जी मनदीप जी प्लीज अनम्यूट मनदीप जी यू कैन अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ मनदीप
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा
वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह
जी आनंद साहिब ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਲਈ ਵੀ
हाँ जी प्लीज हाँ जी थैंक यू
राम कली महला तीजा आनंद एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद आनंद भया मेरी माए सतगुरु मैं पाया सतगुर दा पाया सहज सेती मन वजियां वाधाइयां राग रतन परवार परियां शब्द गावन आईयां शब्दों ता गावो हरि केरा मन जिनी वसाया कह नानक आनंद हुआ सतगुरु मैं पाया एक मन मेरे तू सदा रहो हर नाल रहो तू मन मेरे दुख सब विसारना अंगीकारो करे तेरा कारज सब सवारना सबना गल्ला समरथ स्वामी सो क्यों मन हो विसारे कह नानक मन मेरे सदा रहो हर नाले साचे साहिबा क्या नहीं करते है करता तेरे सब किछ है जिस देह सो पावे सदा सिफत सलाह तेरी ही नाम मन वसावे नाम जिनके मन वसया वाजे शब्द कर मेरे कह नानक सच्चे साहिब क्या नहीं करते रह साचा नाम मेरा आधारो साच नाम आधार मेरा जिन भुखा सब गवाइयां कर शांत सुख मन आए वसया जिन इच्छा सब पुजाइयां सदा कुर्बान कीता गुर विटो जिस दियां वडियाइयां कह नानक सुनो संतो शब्द धरो प्यारो साचा नाम मेरा आधारो वाजे पंच शब्द चित कर सपागे शब्द वाजे कला जित कर तारिया पंच दूत तुद वस्त कीते काल कंटक मारिया तुर कर्म पाया तुझ जिनको से नाम हर के लागे कह नानक तै सुख होवा तित कर अनहद वाजे आनंद सुनो वड भागियो मनोरथ पूरे हार ब्रह्म प्रपाया उतरे सगल सूरे दुख रोग संताप उतरे सुनी सच्ची बाणी संत साजन पै सरसे पूरे गुर ते जानी सुनते पुनीत कहते पवित्र सतगुर रहा पर पूरे बिनवंत नानक गुर चरण लागे ਵਾਜੇ ਅਨਹਦ ਤੂਰੇ। ਸਲੋਕ
ਪਵਨ ਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਿਤਾ, ਮਾਤਾ ਧਰਤ ਮਹਤ, ਦਿਵਸ ਰਾਤ ਦੋਈ ਦਾਈ ਦਾਇਆ, ਖੇਲੇ ਸਗਲ ਜਗਤ। ਚੰਗਿਆਈਆਂ ਬੁਰਾਈਆਂ ਅਚੇ ਧਰਮ ਹਦੂਰ, ਕਰਮੀ ਆਪੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਕੇ ਦੂਰ। ਜਿਨੀ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ੱਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕਿਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ। ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਇਆ ਗਏ ਮੁਸ਼ੱਕਤ ਕਾਲ, ਨਾਨਕ ਤੇ ਮੁਖ ਉਜਲੇ ਕਿਤੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਨਾਲ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ।